Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Today's video is going to be This Week in WWE, and I'm going to start with last week's SmackDown and go all the way to TakeOver, and also commenting on some notes on what we learned from this week's NXT as well. So we're going to start with SmackDown because I think there was a couple cool things that happened on there. The first thing that I really enjoyed was Carmella versus Bayley. I thought that they had a really great match, and it's just an example of how good that women's division is doing on SmackDown. I really enjoy the SmackDown women division. Naomi came out at the end, just another example of the massive amount of female talent on that brand. Then we had, since we got to talk about the good, we got to talk about the bad too. We had Sheamus versus Gable, Shorty G, and Apollo on a 2-on-1 match, which Gable and Apollo lost. Which, I know they're building up how strong Sheamus is, but this obviously doesn't do any favors for Shorty G and Apollo, who are two very capable wrestlers in their own rights. So for them to lose a 2-on-1 match, I didn't really enjoy that. So moving on to 205, we had the Singh Brothers versus Oni and Danny, and the Singh Brothers came out in their hometown and, of course, played up to the crowd, and then they cut a promo, and they turned that around on the crowd and ended up going heel on the crowd. So they had some really good stuff there. They cut a really good promo. And then Brian Kendrick came out after, and he cut a very long promo. And I love Brian Kendrick. He was one of my biggest inspirations in wrestling in my own career. So I hate to say it, but he just kind of reiterated everything that the Singhs already said. The promo just seemed long-winded, but Brian Kendrick is one of my absolute favorites in WWE and definitely on the 205 brand. So we had Kendrick and Daivari versus Nice and Mike Kanellis returning. The bad thing about this was I don't really know what they were thinking. Everybody in the match was heel, and it didn't help the crowd reaction. 205, in the environment that they're put in now, which is by no fault of any of the talent, they have trouble getting a good crowd response. I talked about this before on my video with Daivari, how he does everything that he can do. He always comes out and he tries to get the crowd into it. He heals it up. He does an amazing job. But having it be heel on heel match just really doesn't help in this kind of atmosphere. It's just not, it's one of those things in knowing your audience, I guess. So then after that match, Danny and Oni came back out. Danny and Oni are so talented, and in every other place they go in NXT, very, very popular. But again, no crowd response. So that's a problem for WWE. That's not a knock on the talent at all. They do everything that they can do. So I guess there's the situation with 205 lately. So moving on to NXT UK, and we got some good stuff to talk about here. Valkyrie, who I've been telling you guys about, who I am very high on, she had her debut match, and of all people, it was against WXW Women's Champion Amal, who I'm also a big fan of. So just when I seen that Valkyrie was having her first match, and that's who it's against, I was so excited about that. I love both of these women. They are both very talented. Valkyrie, I would just put in the top tier of female wrestlers in the world right now. This was just a small taste of what she can do. One thing that comes to mind with me with Valkyrie is precision. She's such an amazing in-ring talent. She just blew my mind when I first started watching her. It's so refreshing to see somebody like that in the ring and to do the things that she does. She's so amazing. So just, keep being on the lookout for her, and I hope that WWE lets her do big things, and, I hope we get to see Valkyrie all the time, because I am just a gigantic fan of hers. So that match was definitely a big thumbs up for me. And speaking of thumbs up, of course, the UK brand, so they're doing good things over there. We have Zach Gibson come out, who just consistently, to say Zach cut a great promo is, it's just kind of redundant at this point. I mean, he's one of the best talkers in the entire company. He's one of the best, if not the best, heel in the entire company. Zach Gibson is a treasure. My shoes always stay on. I love Zach Gibson. So this was good. He did it again on NXT this week too, yesterday. Great promo. He's just he's such a natural. He's so amazing, and he backs everything that he says up in the ring. He's, he really is just a all around, well rounded talent. So it's always, whenever Zach Gibson's on my TV screen, I know it's going to be a great time. So that brings us to TakeOver Portland. I didn't enjoy the show as much as it seems like a lot of people on the internet did. They've gotten a lot of good reviews, and good for them. But I did have some issues with the show. But I'm going to start off with the good things, and I really enjoyed the pre-show. It was really fun. I love that that Portland crowd was so hot. They were, good job to them. Every time Sam would talk, he would get booed. Every time Mansoor, who was new to the broadcast team there, so it was nice to see him get something there. I'd like to see him featured on TV more, other than just the occasional shows. I'd like to see him get featured regularly because, he really is a talent. Other places other than his hometown. So whenever he got to talk, he would get cheered. Sam would get booed. So it was just a great exchange there. The crowd seemed like they were having a real fun time with it. It was really enjoyable to listen to, so I enjoyed that pre-show. Poppy opened the show. I'm a fan of hers. I think she's great. She brought great energy. It's so smart having her open these shows. I like that she's becoming a fixture on these in a bit of a way where they featured her before. They featured her with Io Shirai, and she brings so much energy, and I love seeing Poppy. She's always entertaining. I love what she does. I think she's brilliant. I think she's creative. So that's a really great way to open the NXT shows, the takeovers. All right, and the biggest double, triple, quadruple, million times thumbs up. It always has. It always will be. It was again. Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic are just physically incapable of having anything other than a brilliant match. I mean, these guys, best match of the night for me by a landslide. Everything that they do, everything. I mean, just the level of talent there. I mean, what can I say that hasn't been said? What can I say that you can't see when they perform? It's everything. It's the storytelling. It's just the in ring, the level that they keep turning it up every single time that they step in the ring together. You think that there's no way they could possibly top the last time, and they did. Keith Lee picked up the win on this one, but these guys have brilliant chemistry. They are just perfect together. So not only are we basking in the NXT North American Champion Keith Lee's glory, we are basking in their glory because they are both amazing, and I love what they did on NXT this week. Dominik came out and pretty much stated that he wasn't ready to move on, and Keith Lee said, you know what, I'm cool with that. These people want us to fight forever. Let's fight forever. So I want you to fight forever. I love it. I could never get sick of it. And so Keith and Dominik doing Keith and Dominik things. Just great match of the show by a million miles for me. Then we had Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai. They had a great match, and I think they did great on their own. And at the end of that match, Raquel Gonzales comes out, which just, I understand featuring more people and giving people spots, but this just kind of left me with questions. I just was hoping that on NXT this week, yesterday, they would explain, her presence there, what she has to do with all of this. I was hoping I would get enough good explanation on that. I don't feel that I did. It still feels incredibly random to me. I wish they would have tried harder to tie the three in together and made sense. I don't think a third... I mean, we have Candice on Tegan Nox's side, so I can understand bringing in somebody to back up the heel. I just don't think it was explained well enough for my personal taste. So I guess we'll see where this goes, though. But, congratulations on Raquel for being featured. So, so the nenext match... Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. Finn Balor won. Oh, Dakota Kai won the last match. I forgot to say that. Yeah, because of Raquel. Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. Finn Balor wins. Johnny missed out on a takeover. This one he comes back and he loses. So, we were kind of wondering at this point what's next for Johnny Gargano, and we will soon find out. So then we had Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Decent match. Obviously it was pretty predictable that Rhea would win, and to me it was also pretty predictable that Charlotte would come out at the end, so this was just kind of there for me. Not a big hit, but, I'm glad, if you guys enjoyed it. I'm, glad some people found it enjoyable. It just kind of came off as pretty predictable to me. All right, so speaking of pretty predictable, I have made my opinions known on this team before, so I'm not going to reiterate too much. Burroughs Swan, again, we pretty much seen that all coming. Don't love them as a tag team, but, I guess we'll see where that goes. Cole versus Ciampa. So this one was not predictable. This one, Ciampa ended up losing, and he did not bring home Goldie, and this was Undisputed Era's fault, and this was Johnny Gargano's fault. Johnny came out, and he turned on Ciampa, so... my little DIY heart was shattered. I would have liked to see more of them before this split, but, what can you do? So that's our week in WWE. Tomorrow, I will be doing a show about WXW Bielefeld, and I hope you all tune in for that, because you know how passionate I am about Westside Extreme Wrestling, so I'm really looking forward to filming that. I got to finish watching it up today, and then I'm going to post that video tomorrow. So, everybody, like, subscribe, view, comment, all that stuff. Love you. Bye. Mwah.